Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show, and I'm here to talk about some NBA news. Be my final NBA video, and I done my recap for Game 6 of Pacers Knicks, so if you want my thoughts on that, gave my thoughts and really my overall thoughts on that game, in that video, so go watch it. But yeah, get that self-promotion out of the way, gotta get that self-promotion. But first thing I'll talk about is the San Antonio Spurs. They are the favorites to land Darius Garland if Cleveland decides to part ways with him. Per Bovada official betting odds, San Antonio Spurs are a plus 325. The LA Lakers are plus 600. The Pelicans and Jazz, Sixers, T-Wolves, and Magic are all at a plus 950. If you're betting on Darius Garland's next team, then I don't know about that. But him and Wemby and Garland pick and roll, I mean, it'd be alright. I don't think it'd be as exciting, say, like Trae Young and Wembanyama. Because Garland, he just really regressed this season. Didn't have a great playoffs. I just don't know about them. So, Purse Smith Raps, the Toronto Raptors. Remember, they had Bruce Brown, right? Oh yeah, I forgot too. They're expected to trade Bruce Brown by next month. Just put him back on the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets, I wouldn't say the Nuggets need him. Why did they not trade him at the deadline? I mean, his value's only go down since too. Really. I mean, that's always the case with role players on championship teams. There's so much attention on them. The moment they leave, people don't hear about them anymore and think they've fallen off. He's been very, very similar this and last year. He's not really changed at all. But, like, they should just trade him at the deadline. If you're, like, why trade him now when he probably has less value? I mean, it's not like his probably value was, like, sky high, but it was probably way more then than it was now. They can get good value from him, to me, because I think he's a very good role player. It's just, he should just stay with the Denver Nuggets, to me. The Lakers, they've interviewed Bronny James per the LA Times. And quote here, in terms of the draft, the Lakers seem like they'll be the draft for Bronny James at pick 55. A player the team conducted an interview with in Chicago, according to sources not authorized to publicly discuss draft strategy. An interview, you say? I mean, you know damn well somebody's taking him in the first pick just because he's a James. I don't think he's gonna go that low. Somebody's gonna draft him in the first round. Like, he's 100% getting drafted. It's just a question of when and what round. I think he's gonna be the first round. I definitely don't see him falling to pick 55, just because he's LeBron's son. But we'll see. So Bronny reiterated that he doesn't see a scenario in which a GM would select him in the hopes of landing his father by stating, and quote, I don't think a GM would allow that. Well, you haven't met the Bulls GM yet. I mean, it just sucks for him, but the main reason he's in the combine is because of his father. But I feel like maybe hopefully he's trained Bronny well. But how do we tell him? I feel a GM will select him in hopes of landing LeBron, because, LeBron James, he said he wants to play in the same team as his son. So, I think a GM would select him in the hopes of landing LeBron. So, Donovan Mitchell, or Woj, talks about the latest on Donovan Mitchell's future. And Donovan Mitchell, he had a message to Woj. He said, end quote, of what Donovan Mitchell told Woj. He told Woj, I am happy in Cleveland. I'm choosing not to believe this. I highly doubt he's happy. It's probably the fastest an off-season rumor has been shut down. But I don't know, maybe this could be, but if this is true, and people are like, oh, he could leave Cleveland in the offseason, if this is true, saying he's happy in Cleveland, that might be the fastest the rumor's been shut down in offseason history. But, yeah, sure, buddy. But I'm not going to be hearing one of these people say, oh, yeah, he's going to go to the Lakers. He's going to go to the Lakers. Yeah, okay, buddy. Oh, or he's going to the Heat. I just don't think he's going to be in Cleveland. I don't know. But I just don't know if he can stay there any longer. But we have some other stuff to talk about with Donovan Mitchell. The Memphis Grizzlies are a dark horse candidate for Donovan Mitchell in the event that Cleveland decides to trade him. Per Am Not Evan. Those same sources have confirmed the reporting that the Los Angeles Lakers, Brooklyn Nets, and Miami Heat are interested in acquiring Mitchell if he becomes available. But a separate source did share that the Houston Rockets and Memphis Grizzlies could also be teams worth monitoring in a possible Mitchell sweepstakes. That'd be, imagine that backcourt, John Morant, Donovan Mitchell. Whew. Will that happen? I don't know about that. But I don't know about that, if that will happen. So Fred Katz, this is ridiculous. He reports that a Knicks player lose a big fart in the locker room before Game 5, which brought the team together. Sure didn't help for Game 6. Game 6 sure didn't go well. Maybe Game 7 they need to let loose a big fart in the locker room. If this is indeed true, it's probably Isaiah, probably a Josh Hart. I didn't think this was true. I don't know if this is actually true, but Jesus Christ. Maybe they need to let a big fart out for Game 7 in the fucking locker room. Kings, Thunder, and Pelicans are expected to show interest in Jarrett Allen, per Am Not Evan. The general vibe across the league, according to sources, is that Allen and Garland are the two who could become available for the right price if Mitchell re-signs with the Cavs, while Allen has been linked to the New Orleans Pelicans for quite a while now. Sources tell right down Elucid. Euclid, how do you say that word? My word in the nerd community. That the Oklahoma City Thunder and Sacramento Kings could be interested in the former All-Star. This is like the 6th Cavs post, it feels like, already. Thunder would be a great fit, honestly. The Thunder would actually be insane. People be like, oh yeah, to come off the bench, but maybe Chet could play the 4. And then Jarrett Allen can play the 5, which I think would fit well. The Jazz have expressed interest in bringing Bronny James in for an individual workout. It can be interesting in him with a 32nd pick. Oh boy, LeBron James to Utah. No way LeBron's going to Utah to play Bronny James. LeBron's going to be like, sorry Bronny, you on your own out there, I ain't going to Utah. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they're a potential landing spot for Darius Garland, per Am Not Evan. A source shared that right down Elucid. Stop using this fucking word, Am Not Evan. Jesus Christ. Euclid? I'm not part of the nerd community, Mr. Evan. What's your name, sir? Evan DeMarrell? That a dark horse that could try to acquire him is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Since 2018, when Minnesota tried to select Garland in the 2018 NBA draft, the Timberwolves have been fans of Garland's game and they need a succession plan for current starting point guard Mike Conley. That could be the best possible landing spot for him. They need to facilitate their can stretch the floor. His defensive liability becomes far less of a negative on that team because they have so many good defenders. That wouldn't be a bad pick. An anonymous NBA team says that drafting the number 1 pick in this year's draft is essentially like drafting Tobias Harris at number 1 per Ryan Russillo. My God. Tobias Harris probably be like, what do you say fuck me for? Tobias Harris over me? That's kind of that's low-key disrespectful. This draft really isn't that awful. I know people are like, oh yeah, it's awful. But there's some good talent. Zach Lowe mentions the Miami Heat, the team wants for Donovan Mitchell. They've been connected with Mitchell over the years. They're larger and they have a lot of stuff to offer in terms of picks and young players. It's not gonna happen. He's not. The Heat don't trade for superstars. It's not gonna happen. Rival executives are preparing for Cleveland to choose between keeping Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland. I'm just gonna stop reading here. This is per Shams, by the way. Rival executives believe the Cavs will have to seriously evaluate the fit of Mitchell and Garland. Ultimately, may have to choose. Choose? There's not really much of a choice here. You keep Donovan Mitchell. Are we really trying to compare these two? I mean, I'm not going to pretend Garland's bad. It's just Mitchell's way better. Like, Garland's not bad. It's just like, I would rather have Mitchell. He's just way better. He's a superstar. So, Donovan Mitchell, Perry report, at first reported, he grew frustrated with some teammates' lack of maturity, focus, playoff level readiness, and a willingness to listen. Per Chris Feder. But, then Donovan Mitchell says, he said something like it was cap or something. I don't know what's going on there with Cleveland Donovan Mitchell. I just have no clue if he's going to stay or he's going to leave. It's going to be interesting to watch. The Spurs have little interest in acquiring Trae Young, per J. Cal Fisher, according to multiple league figures with knowledge of the situation. Any Spurs plans of maneuvering to bring Young to San Antonio have been vastly overstated. The Spurs sources said have expressed little interest in obtaining Young to date. Man, they really hit Trae with the short joke. Man, what could have been? Trae Young and Wemby, what could have been? Trae would feed Wemby a whole buffet like every single night. He can get like 30 and 10, like average 30 and 10 in a season. So Charles Barkley, via ESPN Chicago, he admits he's concerned about TNT losing their TV rights to NBC. It's 50-50. While we lose our part to NBC, am I concerned 100%? Because as much as we have been partners with the NBA for, I think, 40 years, you would think if it was close in a bidding war, we would get the benefit of the doubt. But clearly that's not happening. They're scared to death over there right now. Losing inside the NBA is not what the fans want. And sure, is their analysis kind of biased at times? Yeah, but it's still a fun show to watch after the game if you want to watch something after the game like post-game coverage. And then what are you going to do? The NBA pregame is cooked. And before in halftime shows, I mean, the jokes they tell, stories they're telling, shit like that. That's just my opinion. Like, before the halftime and the post-game. And then you have Chuck and Shaq going at each other is hilarious. Like, post-game even more so than TNT post-game is so good. I swear to God, if they get rid of him inside the NBA, dude. If DeMar DeRozan is open to playing for the Lakers, you can't never say no about playing home. Time will tell. We'll see where the cards fall. Oh, great. Another guy who is a great three-point shooter. Now, there's some other news that I don't really feel like talking about. A few more things, but who cares? But yeah, until next time, have a lot. Peace.